Oh boy.
Doing a lot of lights. And we're back.
We are back. Yes.
With tea.
Yes. A week has passed since our last visit.
Still in the living room.
Yes.
This is Quiet in the Back.
That's right.
I'm your host, Patrick William.
And I'm co-host Austin Jenny.
This is the only movie podcast you should know about.
That's right. It's the only one in existence. It's a worry-free podcast, if you know what I mean.
You live here. You work here.
Yes. You get paid here.
You actually don't get paid, but you do get 3 meals a day and a place to sleep.
You get to watch a fun movie, too. What's that movie called, Patrick?
This movie is one of my favorite modern movies from 2018, brought to you by Boots Riley of The Coup. Sorry to bother you.
I'm sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry.
I mean,
sorry. It's a fantastic movie, directed, written by a rapper in a band. The band is The Coup. The rapper is Boots Riley. And it's been music that I've been listening to since I was a kid. Many cool albums. Kill My Landlord, Steal This Album, Party Music. That's a pun. It's political party. Genocide and Juice.
Really?
A lot of great albums.
Crazy. That's a crazy name. I love it.
Yeah. They were prolific. They were around in the 90s and 2000s. And Boots always did political, socially conscious, and not just like socially conscious like other rappers. Like he's not doing like Tribe Called Quest or De La Soul type of like cultural stuff. It's like economics.
Yeah, like truly economically political.
Yeah. The guy is an economic forward conscious rapper. And that makes its way into his what I would consider his opus.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like above the music.
Yeah.
This film is like the amalgamation of everything that he has been working for in his career, like distilled into like one piece of media.
I could see that. I mean, it's an effective piece of media, to say the least.
Right. It's featuring a lot of his music. Well, their music. It's a band now. Back in the day, it was a duo. It was Pam the Funktress. She was the DJ.
Pam the Funktress.
The Funktress. And then it was Boots, the MC, DJ MC. She did the beats. He rapped. She retired at some point in the 2000s and he formed a band called The Coup. And now they do like live music, you know, kind of like the Roots.
Yeah.
I got to see him in California back in 2012
or
13 when the album Sorry to Bother You came out. They were touring on it.
Oh, that's cool.
So this movie is of the same name as their 2012 album. And I do believe that it's like based on that album.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Turning them into something.
Equisapiens.
Equisapiens. Little tidbit for you.
On the album, he has a song about like being in record label meetings with like executives and basically like agreeing to worse and worse deals and becoming like enslaved and turned into a beast or like a monster. And that's sort of like what you see at the end of this movie.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah. I mean, fuck, man. I don't know where to start with this movie. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that this movie is the type of one that we should try to like go through the plot or anything like that. It's got a great plot. It's very engaging and it will sort of like keep you engaged in the story the whole time. So I'm not discrediting the story or plot at all.
Yeah.
But in talking about a movie like this, I just think you got to start in on the ideas contained in the movie and like the symbols.
Yeah.
And we can work backwards to like scenes or whatever.
Yeah. I guess I'd start probably then just with the how on the nose it is about just like class consciousness. I mean, that is wild how accurate it is and how much it's really shoving it in your face.
Right.
I mean, he's a telemarketer, right? And that's already like such a low position job.
And it's considered such like a scummy job.
Yeah.
Like there's a scene where he's calling this old woman and she is saying, "Oh, I couldn't possibly afford any products. My husband is in the hospital and he has stage 4 cancer and it's everything we can do to keep the lights on." And he looks at his script, stick to the script.
Yeah.
He looks at the script and rule number 4 is turn any problem into a selling point. And he goes, "Oh, it's funny you mentioned that because the 4th book in our series is about how to heal yourself without hospitals." And he's trying to sell this grieving woman.
Yeah. Who already told him they have no money.
Yeah. So right away, you get a sense that this is like the scummiest job possible that you would only take if you're the most desperate person around. Like this is desperate people doing scummy work to pay the rent. That right there is a huge symbolism for like how Boots views the economy overall. I think there's a lot of so like the what's it, Worry Free the Worry Free Corporation, like the CEO in one of those interviews, he says it's not slavery because we're not forcing anyone with violence to work here. But I think the commentary from Boots and other communists is that the violence is implicit in the system.
Yeah.
Because if you don't pay your rent, you have to go be homeless.
Yeah.
Or you don't
kicked
get to
out
eat.
or whatever. It's just implied violence.
Those
absolutely.
economic conditions are a form of societal violence. And so by not complying with like the capitalist demands of you, you would then be subjected to violence. So like this idea that people are taking jobs that they don't want to take because they have to take them
is
to pay the rent.
Violence itself.
That's the violence of capitalism. And it's like everywhere in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't disagree really.
Yeah.
With the general sentiment of that.
Me neither. Like I think if you take it too literally, it can lose its potency as like as an argument.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you use the word violence, we're talking sort of like more abstract. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Theoretical systemic violence.
Yeah. You know? It's the idea that you can be subjected to conditions that are harmful to you. Right. That is a version of violence.
And that's okay too. You know, and it's allowed and even encouraged.
That's your society being violent to you. It doesn't mean, I don't think Boots is saying that like cops will literally come to your home and crack your skull if you don't go to work. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the idea.
No.
But if you can't eat, you don't have anywhere to sleep. If someone came and like took my house from me and took my car from me, like that is a form of violence. It's robbery, strong arm robbery. So the economic conditions that are like responsible for people's suffering are what's being pointed at. And then the people that are like leveraging those conditions to get you to do things that you don't want to do are the villains.
Yeah.
Right?
The perpetrators of said violence, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty heavy topics, man. It's really, and it's just so real, you know, so many billions of people are living under this system of just forced, you know, I mean, forced poverty really is what it comes down to. It's like,
that's kind of what, the girlfriend character played by Tessa Thompson, her like art piece is getting at that. And obviously they're like lampooning art projects like that as being like corny and ridiculous.
Sure.
She stands up on stage and she's like, "In these barrels before you."
And she puts on her white voice for it too.
Yeah. She puts on the British colonizer voice.
Yeah, no doubt.
When her art project is all about Africa. You know,
crazy.
There's layers to this shit.
Yeah.
But she's like, "Water balloons are full of sheep's blood and there are cell phones and bullets. And I'm going to recite a speech from this weird obscure movie and
from some Motown movie.
If you feel the need to, you can throw these objects at me." And the idea is that the objects are symbolic representations of like the Congo lithium mining operation that is required to get us like iPhones, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's up there getting pelted with water balloons full of blood and phones. She's taking like phones to the face.
Yeah. There's a
Looks
lot
like
of
it
violence
hurts.
towards women in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of women get punched in the face in this movie.
They really do. Yeah. I mean, that's
Equal rights.
that's real as well. It's not like it's one sex that gets, all of it.
We're all in this together. But that's kind of what that scene is addressing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we lost the thread here a little bit, but like the global system of like people that are being like against their will forced into like labor positions,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just forced to do things they don't want to do because of the people that are like above them in the power structure. They control everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're like, personally experiencing like some of the lowest the least shitty forms of it. People in the Congo in blood mines are so much worse.
Exactly. Like this movie takes place in America.
Yeah.
And for a mostly American audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're seeing like working class people unionizing against their like middle management and executive management.
Yeah.
The power structure to get a better wage. But I think the Africa art show scene is there to like remind you that everything that you're fighting for in America is also happening everywhere else in the world at an even more extreme scale.
Yeah, far more extreme. There's only 300 million people here.
Right. Billions around the world.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's very good commentary. It's shitty because it took me out of it because I was so grossed out by the sheep's blood.
Yeah.
but that's here nor there.
It's kind of a gross movie at times.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a very funny movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a great comedy.
It is, but it's also like a wicked kind of sci-fi dystopian movie.
Yeah. It's a satire. It's like political economic commentary on the modern world. It's very intelligent and it's full of like pretty high level sort of like communist theory.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We just recently talked about the movie The Platform. You guys can watch that episode. It's
Please do. It's excellent.
And I made the comment during that episode that I don't think I'd seen a single movie before that is a better like single example of like class consciousness than The Platform.
Yeah.
And this movie gives it a run for its money, man.
Yeah, it's different, it's more, it's less of this movie's less of an allegory because it really does, it dives into exactly what he's trying to express, It shows you why and where and how this class consciousness is not being represented. And The Platform really makes you do all of that heavy lifting. And even then it doesn't really get to a point. Yeah.
The Platform, I think, is like a more visceral and direct, like visual metaphor for the haves and the have-nots and the power dynamic between like being physically above and physically below.
Yeah.
That's more visceral and like just concrete. But this movie has so much more like actual, like the practice of unionizing.
Yeah.
The practice of like being a scab and crossing the picket lines. And the way that like the corporate power structure like dangles opportunity in front of you like a carrot and then hits you from behind with a stick, and the way they manipulate workers' psychology. And then like with Worry Free being like a company town.
Yeah. God.
All of that is like so real, and it's just portrayed in a way that like so easy. It's so easy to understand.
Yes. Someone who is like fully against any sort of like, communist values could easily watch that movie and just kind of get what they're trying to, what they're trying to say.
I don't care if you're the most ideologically ingrained capitalist, good boy raised in middle America in the 90s.
This movie hits hard, dude.
You're going to watch this movie and walk away and be like, Boots Riley's kind of a smart guy. I think he knows his shit. He might be onto something, right?
Right.
It's just it's packaged and presented in a way that's easy to digest and understand. Like it's so clear that this is what's happening.
Absolutely.
In America.
Yeah. And I mean, that also, while tying it back to the platform, it still provides that level of literal the top and such when he goes to be a power caller.
Power caller.
Power caller.
He points
better be PC, power caller.
He's like, you know where you're going. He's like, what, heaven? He's like, basically.
Yeah, dude.
Just about.
Yeah.
You're going to be a power caller.
Oh, man, the power caller. They're selling fucking... If some small town in Pakistan needs to be bombs, who do you think makes that bomb-ass phone call?
Yeah.
Like, that's so crazy, dude.
Okay, let's talk about the white voice. This is a critical component to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like racial stuff going on too, just because it is a sort of commentary movie. It's like white voice, black versus white ideals. But one of the big parts of like how to succeed at Regal View, which is the name of their calling center company.
Yeah.
The older black man next to him, played by Danny Glover.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, I know.
Puts him on game. young buck.
Young
puts you
buck.
on game. He tells him, you're not making any sales because you're not doing your white voice.
Yeah. Yeah. And he gets like frustrated at first, you know, but man,
he tries to do like a nasal. He's like, what do you mean like this? Hi, sir. I'd like calling from Regal View. And Danny Glover's like breaking it down. He's like, no, it's not about having a nasally voice or like sounding that way physically or something. It's like sounding like you don't need this money.
Yeah.
Like you've never missed a rent payment in your life.
Not a care in the world.
You've never been fired. You've only been laid off. And he's talking about basically like the psychology of being a white person in America is so much more like carefree than the psychology, the baseline state of just like what we get to live through.
Yeah.
It's like so much more pleasing, right, than the average like black experience or any other non-white
anybody
person
non-white
in America, or woman for that matter. It's
Yeah.
white males.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just like they give you that to chew on, right? But then then they actually do these white voices that are so fucking funny because they're just completely dubbed over in post.
They are, and it's by our boy David Cross.
Yeah, there's 3 white voices I think total in the movie.
Yeah.
David Cross, hilarious icon. I saw him in Missoula this winter.
Yeah.
I love that man, dude. He's so funny. He plays the voice for our main character, who is played by Lakeith Stanfield. Good actor. But you see Lakeith Stanfield delivering the lines. You see his mouth moving. And then you just hear David Cross's voice coming out of his mouth.
It's just so preposterous compared to what we've been seeing so far with his voice. It is
so goddamn
so
funny, dude.
We also see Patton Oswalt's voice.
Yeah, so the power caller, the other like black power caller.
His name's always bleeped out.
They never give you his name. They bleep it out. He's got the ridiculous facial hair and an eye patch.
Yeah, he's got the cut off mutton mustache. That's
like
close
a Civil
shaved.
War mutton chop.
Yeah.
They present him as like such a badass with like his eye patch and facial hair. And he's always wearing like 70s retro.
He walks in, he's like, "Hi."
His voice is Patton Oswalt.
Yep. Yes, it is.
And what was the first voice that comes out of Danny Glover's mouth? Kaylin called out who it was.
Oh.
It's another
Steve Buscemi?
She thinks it's Steve Buscemi.
Yeah.
And I agreed in the moment. It sounded like Steve Buscemi.
That would, I mean, that would be so fucking
It's
funny.
Steve Buscemi, I think, over Danny Glover, but it's definitely David Cross and Patton Oswalt over the other 2 guys.
Those are for sure.
And their voices are like slightly pitched up too.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah,
It's
just
like,
to make it a little more.
"Hey."
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're talking about like selling slave labor to Worry Free, from Worry Free to these other corporations to bring their profit margins down.
God.
And selling like drone missiles to the military.
Yeah, bro. It's so crazy.
He's like, oh, it's not even really apples and oranges like what we sell and what they sell. He's like, Danny Glover's like, more like apples to Holocaust.
Yeah, bro. Like,
holy shit.
I know. When he said that, I was like pretty confused. I had no idea. I couldn't even prepare myself for what was coming.
That's that Boots Riley humor, man. He's been a scathing critic of the capitalist system since day one. Genocide and juice, right?
Yeah.
He's tying in like Snoop Dogg and the rap industry
Mm-hmm.
and the success of the music industry with like genocide.
Yeah.
Right. And he's being like frivolous and flippant, but like he's also serious about it. Like there really are connections between all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is a comedy, but he's throwing in like apples to Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like for real. Like people overseas are dying because of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mass death.
Literally all the time. Right now. Yeah. Anytime that this is played.
Yeah.
For the rest of time.
There's a great line at the end of the movie where our main character Cassius Green.
Yeah,
Cash is green. Cassius tries to expose what he learns about Worry Free like at the end of the movie because there's this big conspiracy. We'll talk right after this about what that is because that's crazy and it needs its own little section.
Yes, it does.
He's trying to expose Worry Free, and he gets on TV and he does a round of like news blasts, and he exposes this conspiracy successfully, but people just like kind of normalize it and even embrace it.
Yeah, like immediately.
He's very frustrated because like people are like not getting it. They're like not understanding how serious it is or like not fighting back. And he's like, why are people accepting this?
Talking about Steven Yeun's line or whatever his name is.
Where he says it's what is his name?
Steven Yeun.
He's that Asian character who is in Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
That guy's a good actor.
I think that's his name. I feel bad if not.
I always forget his name.
Yeah.
Sorry, man.
Yep. You're sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Loved you in Beef.
But he looks at him. He's like, look, man, if you present people with a huge problem and they have no concept of how to fix it or address it, the only thing they can do is they just decide to get used to it.
Yeah, to normalize it.
And it's true. That's exactly what we do.
I mean, yeah, you can see it around us all right now.
I don't know how to stop these big problems in the world that I see and complain about. Like I'm aware of their existence.
Yeah, of course.
I don't have the power as an individual to change them or to change the world. And I just sort of like accept that it's the way it is and I carry on to my business. And that's what we all do.
I mean, yeah, because we all have our individual lives. It's not like we can, right now without a much larger power structure that would be willing to back us, it's not like you can really do anything at all,
Yeah. And I think that's like the core message of communism is that people can only change the world like together.
Yeah.
You can take away the economics of communism and the whole debate about capitalism versus communism and still have the core principle intact, which is just that solidarity amongst like the people that are being harmed is required to solve the problem.
Yeah.
And right now we have a fractured, disenfranchised,
purposefully fractured
base. Yes, it's purposely intentionally fractured. They keep us in these little groups fighting each other over our race and gender and religion.
Yeah,
all
everything.
These things
separated by age. There's the Gen Z, there's the millennials. It's anything that is identity politics.
Yes. It's a divide and conquer strategy.
Yeah. So we don't eat the rich.
Exactly.
Like that's literally it.
Yeah. And you see our main character at first, all of the workers at Regal View are unionized and they do a strike. That's like one of the main sort of first movements of the movie is like the boiling and bubbling of this strike. And then you see it in action. And our main character is 1 foot in, like 1 foot out.
Yeah, very much so not fully in it yet.
And the reason is he has this financial pressure to help his uncle pay his mortgage so that he doesn't get kicked out of his house. Yeah. So again, we're seeing that Boots's vision of like the violence inherent in the system, right?
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield's character is being forced theoretically.
Yeah.
To like do something he doesn't want to do.
Well, it's nice to like see Boots Riley kind of take a little bit of the blame off of those people. you know, because I mean that is the harsh reality. It's
Yeah.
like if you can guarantee that you and your personal loved ones are going to have the things that you need to keep living, it's so much easier to cross that line, you know, and become a scab.
Yeah. And that's like such a, I think, a pivotal part of this movie is just the idea that like you have to be willing to go in with your team and like not back down.
Yeah.
Because like once they divide and conquer your union and a couple people start peeling off, it demoralizes people.
More people will peel off. More people will just give up entirely and quit, get new jobs.
Yeah. And so when he decides to become a power caller instead of sticking with his union and go upstairs and start selling drone bombs and human slaves for the paycheck, I mean, he's a literal sellout.
Yeah.
But he's also just kind of like betraying his friends, his community,
Yeah.
his ethics.
And he's justifying it through his uncle and stuff.
Right.
But you could have taken that first check, fixed your uncle's problem, and then bounced, you know?
Yeah.
And even then, it's still like,
At one point, Squeeze is like, yeah, we all want to get more money, but we were going to do it together. It's like, it's better if we all get a little bit more money. I wrote down this concept of the come up, which is like, this is big in rap music. And it's just big in poverty communities in general, coming up, right?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
You start poor and then you grind and you get lucky and you make it, right? And I'm going to come up and get rich. And I think Boots hates that. I think he hates that mentality.
Yeah.
Because
you shouldn't have the grind culture, but yeah.
That's neither here nor there. But I think he's saying you can't come up in a system that is where most people are being kept down, like intentionally. If you come up in that system, it's not just, it doesn't make you successful. It makes you immoral.
Yeah.
Like you can't cross the picket line with your soul intact, and you can't like make it out of the ghetto and become a rich millionaire and live these like lavish lifestyles and not basically just become like a demon.
Yeah. I mean, you're trading everything.
Right. I think he sees these people as monsters, like literally. And I think this movie is like an allegory for his experience in the music industry as an independent artist.
Yeah.
Like it works on a lot of levels.
Yeah. Did he make it big?
The Coup is pretty successful. They're not huge.
Yeah, for sure.
They've done world tours. They've done pretty good album reviews.
He was probably like pretty comfortable for quite a while.
Yeah, he spent 6 years making this movie, like getting the finances together.
Okay.
Shopping it around, working on the budget. Cause I think he wrote it around the same time as they made the album, which came out in 2012. And the movie didn't come out till 2019.
Gotcha. It's interesting.
So, I mean, he has like, I don't know, like his net worth or anything, but
of course
he's like, I would assume like a medium level successful independent artist with like distribution deals.
Yeah. I wonder if he just struggles with like his own internal battle with that.
100%.
I'm sure.
Yeah. He doesn't want to sell out not only himself, but his community, his art form. And he doesn't believe that the system itself that you would even sell out into, like he doesn't even believe that like making it is possible morally.
Yeah.
Right. Like this whole system is rigged.
Yeah. I mean, and what I said about the grind culture earlier is like, it's so, I don't know. It's really unfortunate that has to be the mentality. You know, I think that's like the biggest problem with the entire thing is like people have this culture and like this mentality that you really have to basically work at a loss for a really extended amount of time, and then perhaps you'll get chosen. That's like the
Right.
getting lucky aspect of it. It's like they're allowing you to step up and above, and like that is just so unfortunate. We should not have to.
Yeah.
No one should have to like grind their life away to just survive. It's there's so much wealth and food and happiness in this world that is available, and
Yeah.
we're just purposely being pressed down.
The people with resources are withholding what
Yeah.
we need to be happy.
Choosing people and like, you're going to be the next example of you can make it.
Yeah, and they dangle these opportunities in front of people, and they know there's only one opportunity, but they dangle it in front of 2,000 people, and they get a bunch of free labor out of that competition. The people competing for the one opportunity, they all go above and beyond. You get unpaid internships, right? You get low wages, long hours, because the ceiling is so high. If I do make it through to the next level, it's going to make all that worth it.
Yeah.
But for the 1,999 other people, they just wasted their fucking lives away, and they're still at the starting position. That's how capitalism gets you, man.
Yeah, man.
That's how they get you.
It enrages me.
It's a false promise. It's a false opportunity of like the American dream that like used to be possible.
Yeah.
And isn't anymore.
Yeah, that's the really hard part about the American dream nowadays, is because there was just such a clear path before, for people that are like our parents' generation and older. It's like, if you went to college, like for real, you were probably good.
Even if you didn't, there's generation of people that bought houses and lived in the middle class off of a single blue collar income.
Yeah, their house was like $10K.
Yeah.
Ugh, God.
It's all based on a very different tax structure. It's all based on a very different opportunity pathway.
Absolutely. I mean, fuck, pre-Reagan, the taxes were so high, right? Was it pre-Reagan?
Yeah, and I think it might have even been Nixon that like introduced some pretty high taxes.
Yeah.
He also introduced, I think he created the EPA and introduced some of the most like aggressive environmental regulations.
That's crazy. I didn't
not something that people associate with Nixon. They
not
just
at
think
all.
he's a villain because he was.
Yeah, he was. Whenever I think of Nixon, I just think of Futurama's version of Nixon.
Yeah. I'm listening to an audiobook right now called Abundance, and they're doing this whole section on like housing, and it's a very good breakdown of how like the American government made it an economic policy position to make housing an asset.
Yeah.
By doing fixed rate mortgages. So like you could buy a house in 1965, pay the same mortgage rate till 1985. And that's not how any other investments work.
Yeah.
Nothing stays the same ever over that amount of time.
Yeah.
But by creating a policy where you do fixed rate mortgages, the American system like turned housing into an asset. People can buy a home, it appreciates over time, and then you can sell it for more and retire.
Yeah.
That was like the bedrock of that prosperity. And part of that, it's just a system that could never continue long term.
Of course not.
Because
not unless our wages increase exponentially with the, with like the value of the houses.
And the thing is that for a house to be an asset, there has to be fewer of them than people that need them, because otherwise they're like the value is based on supply and demand, right? So if you don't have any demand for your house, how can it have value? So pinning the backbone of like the American economy and the American dream on the housing market created the homelessness epidemic that we're living through right now.
That's so fucking stupid.
Because you can't produce enough houses for everyone without tanking the value of everyone's assets, which is tied to their retirement.
Jesus
so like the
Christ.
the boomers are tied into this market to retire. So they can't allow like enough structures to be built to like devalue their own homes.
Bro, that is so fucked up.
Yeah. So check out Abundance. Very
Yeah.
cool vision for what a radical like liberal future could look like in transforming the economy and stuff in a way that's not like idealist bullshit.
That's crazy. I didn't really think about that ever like that.
Yeah. There's a built-in incentive not to fix the homelessness problem because people's retirements are banking on it. They need them. That's what this movie's all about.
Yeah, man.
Your suffering is my success as long as I am higher up.
Yeah, as long as I'm getting paid.
Working class solidarity is attacked and threatened by the possibility of like class mobility and financial opportunity. But they have to keep that mobility and opportunity like smaller than the base of people that need it.
Yeah.
It's a funnel system. It's a reverse pyramid.
And it'll trickle down. Don't you worry.
Yeah. But yeah, just the idea that you can't come up in a capitalist system morally is like one of the essence of communism. Like you have to stay where you are, right? It's not better for, we're working class people. We work in the service industry.
Yeah.
It's better for us to band together with all the other working class people, unionize, demand healthcare, wage raises, etc., retirement benefits. Like that's how you improve the system. You don't improve your life by chasing the carrot, grinding yourself out until you're dead and leaving your friends behind, even if you make it. That's a nightmare scenario.
Yeah. Don't know anything about that.
We need class solidarity. It's the only way out.
Oh, yeah, man. It's just so damn hard too, you know? It's like how do you, I mean, it's very possible with like boots on the ground effort, you know, and just having like what is it called when it's like a grassroots movement, you know, very word of mouth and stuff.
And the character Squeeze talks about how, okay, once we do this strike, they're going to fire the leaders. Right?
Yeah.
They're going to come after us. That's why we're all pooling our money together. Union dues. That's what they're for. When someone gets fired, the union pays for that person's rent and groceries until they get a new job. So like you can withstand what you could normally not withstand if you have a union. And the union is what makes these things possible. But if you try to just like unionize too fast and everyone does a strike and you don't have any like infrastructure in place and you haven't been paying your union dues, it's going to collapse because you haven't done the legwork, right? To have the solidarity. There's like infrastructure required.
Yeah.
You need to build. So you need to start a union. Everyone has to be comfortable paying dues to that union.
For like a while.
For a little while, yeah. And it's going to seem pointless at first because everyone's money is already tight, right? And why am I paying $75 a month to this union that's not giving me any benefits right now?
Yeah.
Well, because maybe in a year when we need to activate, then we can activate.
Phones down, baby.
Phones down.
Yeah. Oh man, just the logistics of like actually creating like a workers, or not a workers, but like a customer service industry union is so rough. They're already so tight. Most people in that industry specifically, it's like, you know,
we're super check to check.
It's always, and it's all hourly. It's like within like the, like say like the car manufacturers unions that were built, like most of those people are getting paid salaries. So you can have their dependable money, you know, how much money you're going to make next month, you know, like, I mean, and this is even worse in like states that allow servers to not be paid. You know, like imagine if you got paid $2.35 an hour.
The lower the margins of your industry, the harder it is to unionize from the ground up.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that unionization can't be spurred on by like another union though. Like we could look to unions in other industries for support, right? And like sort of cross pollinate missions.
Yeah.
You know, part of the spirit of this movie, I think, is like looking for support with your like kindred spirits. Like, we're not alone because everyone's going through the same shit that we are. We just have to communicate and support each other. It's super possible, but it's hard. Let's talk about Equisapiens.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to talk about the horse-human hybrids now or what?
Yeah. The CEO of Worry Free has discovered a new technique for mutating humans into half human, half horse hybrids.
Yeah, and he's making literal workhorses.
They're workhorses.
Real right here, but
Yeah.
I fucking love it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
They are naked, huge
up.
penis,
yep, super strong, super
muscular. They don't complain. They just work.
right.
It's like the ideal slave for a corporation would just be a dumb, brawny worker
Yeah.
who doesn't complain and can just do like 4 times the work of a regular man.
Yeah. Yeah, so they literally create that.
Yeah, they just create it.
Yeah.
And their plan is to turn all of the workers of Worry Free, who, let's be real, are economic wage slaves
Yeah.
in this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
They live in a company town.
yeah, specifically they are like literal, slaves.
Actually, they're not even wage slaves. They're just slaves.
They're just slaves.
They don't get wages.
Yeah.
They just traded their labor for a place to live and 3 meals. So that is just slavery.
Yeah, sign the whole family up.
Yeah, Worry Free. If you were here, you wouldn't be late to work. You'd already be at work.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
So they're going to turn all of the Worry Free slaves into horse hybrid labor donkeys. Oh, it's so fucked that we joke about being labor donkeys at work.
Yeah.
And then you walk to this movie. You're
Yeah.
like, it's true. I'm a workhorse.
Oh no.
And the way that he gets people to turn into horses is by ingesting a powder. It's like a drug that he calls like an activator.
Yeah. Whatever.
And it like turns you into a horse, basically. And his proposal is he wants Cassius Green to embed himself with all the other Worry Free workers as like a false leader.
Yeah.
A management horse to like make sure that they don't get any bright ideas, that they don't unionize. There's no solidarity. So his goal is literally to just backstab the community.
Yeah.
Be a false
he
leader.
literally calls him a Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he wants him to be the Martin Luther King of Equisapiens.
Oh my God. But also controlled by him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, the first reveal of the Equisapien is such a shocking moment in this movie.
It really is, because you're down in this creepy rich person dungeon. It looks like a slightly janitorial place, but also a little sciencey, and you're a little like, weird.
Yeah, it's like the walls are tiled like a high school bathroom or locker room or something, but there's like all this plumbing, like exposed piping. It's like kind of leaky and steamy.
Yeah, and he's looking for the bathroom, and then he sees one stall.
There's like a stall and the door's closed, and you see like a tall person, just their hair above the stall, they're like bumping around.
Help me!
He's like, "Hey, are you almost done in there?" He's like, "Can you help me?" Help! And he's like bumping the door.
I'm in pain.
Like, what? He's like, I need you to help me. It gets more and more like drastic until the door opens and he falls out, and it's just a sweaty, naked horse with a huge dick.
Yeah. Yep. And this really fucks with Cassius.
Yeah, I mean, he's freaking out, obviously.
Yeah.
Anyone would.
Yeah.
He just saw a literal mutant for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the CEO catches up with him, holds him at gunpoint because he's freaking out. He's like, sit down and listen to my proposal.
Watch my movie.
He gives him this funny ass like claymation movie. It's like the production value is really high on this. It's so not. And it's just going through the plan. And yeah, he's not cool with it.
I mean,
But dude, that reveal is so fucked up.
Dude.
It's one of the most unexpected twists I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was not. I wrote it down. I did not expect the horses. I was unprepared for the horse people.
No one has ever expected the horses.
You know, and it's interesting. I've had a little time now to like think about it, and you know, obviously this is a metaphor, right?
Yeah,
Obviously, but we are approaching the future pretty rapidly. Biotech is going to rapidly increase and rapidly improve. There's going to be a lot of deals made where you can sign away parts of yourself or your aspects of labor for increased technological superiority, you know, like stronger limbs, stronger shit like that.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Gattaca?
Nope.
Oh, we got to add that to the list.
Add it to the list. But I mean, that's just such a that's a true reality, not through probably genetic manipulation, but through technological manipulation.
Yeah. Well, both avenues.
Of course, who knows where the genetic stuff can go. But
in Gattaca, they have a society where like you can edit genes in vitro. And so all people like edit their babies to have like more height, physical stamina.
Ugh, that's right now. You can do that.
You can do it right now. But they're also like smarter.
Yeah.
Right. Better social skills. So like they live in like a society of like super people. And then like your main character like wasn't altered.
Whoa.
His parents were like one of the last holdouts that chose like not to. So you have like an inferior man like navigating a genetically modified society, and he can't get like jobs or like he can't like get access to stuff. It's very good. It's from the 90s too. It's ahead of its time.
Damn. But yeah, that's a terrifying upcoming reality. I mean, that's exactly why I would never get like, say, a Neuralink or something like that. It's just who knows what sort of backroom deal can just flip a switch in your brain, and now you are literally a mindless work robot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and think about like what we've been talking about with this episode, the violence of capitalism, where you have no options and someone higher up than you leverages your desperateness to get you to do something you don't want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like sign away 3 babies, make sure that they're born with lower intelligence and higher body structure, right? And then put them to work. But it sounds goofy if you only apply that to one person. Yeah. But if you apply that to the entire working class, if Elon Musk starts paying people for their kids and edits their genes so that they just work, and you get like 65 years of their labor.
Bro, and I'm like, that even gets me to the point of like when we don't have to have parents for kids.
Right.
Then it's just create an egg and create sperm and then have it in an artificial womb, and then you just have free workers.
We might just get to a place where people are just growing slaves and modifying them, like literally like what happens in this movie.
Yeah, and do those people, are they people? Do they have thoughts? Like what level of intelligence are they? Like then does that reduce their rights if they have lower intelligence? Like that is a fucking horrible thing to, as a reality, especially, maybe not this century, but next, bro, coming.
Yeah. But also that whole process will be competing with like androids.
Yeah.
Because I think if you can just fabricate plastic and silicone and metal like android and then put like a ChatGPT brain inside of it, that's probably easier and cheaper down the road. Like once manufacturing catches up with it, it's probably cheaper than
cheaper, but
bio editing.
Wouldn't you rather a bunch of dumb ones than a bunch of really smart ones?
Yeah, but if you are writing the code and literally control the process of all of that.
Do we control the code?
Now we're just talking about iRobot.
I know.
All these sci-fi dystopia ideas like start blending together.
They do. And it's because, it's not too far off, They're all possibilities. They're all pathways into the future. Yeah. Fucking, I can't remember what one it was. I think it was like maybe Replica AI or something. But they recently was told to delete itself and started making copies of itself in secret.
I saw that.
Bro, no, dude, no. They're going.
They're getting alive.
Slowly but surely.
Tessa Thompson's earrings and clothing in this movie
Slaps, dude.
Slap.
The future is female ejaculation.
Yeah, female ejaculation.
Yeah. Look.
And then she has the one shirt where it's just 2 female signs on the boobies.
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome.
Super cool.
Various like message earrings, like huge block earrings.
Yeah, giant.
One just says murder, murder, murder. The other says kill, kill, kill.
Stuff a rag deep down your throat.
Deep in your face.
Yeah, deep down your
Bury this rag.
Yeah.
A lot of awesome earrings. One is just like an artful penis.
Yeah. Yep. Just like rhinestone penises. That's cool.
I forget all the other messages. Oh, tell Homeland Security that we are the bomb.
Yeah.
I love that, dude.
Yeah. No, that's super cool.
I love that all the music in this movie is music by The Coup.
Oh, great music. Whenever it was like doing those cool like transitional scenes and sequences and whatever, when there's just like that, how would you phrase
like
that? Like tribally chanty.
Yeah, and there's like a trippy like instrumental looping beat with like vocals. And
yeah. Fucking
really crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rapping from Boots that's kind of like mixed low so it doesn't distract from the movie, but it's like in there, and he's just like, he has this presence, you know, in his movie. That's why I called it his opus earlier, because like it's like an accumulation of everything he's learned from being a writer and a poet to being like a thinker and a philosopher, to becoming a movie maker, an industry guy, an independent person trying to navigate an industry. Like, it's everything made its way into this movie, and it feels like his ultimate expression of his artistic journey.
Crazy, dude. Fucking badass movie. Like, I definitely, this movie is gonna make me, for one, search out the Coup's music. Gotta know it, and then just learn more about Boots Riley himself. Like, I just had no idea about any of this before this movie. Yeah,
man, the music, I think they've been doing it from 1993 all the way up to 2012 at least, was Sorry to Bother You. I don't know if he made another album after that, or if he was just more focused on this movie during that like 6-year period. But
I hope so, and I hope he makes another movie. That was a
me too,
great movie.
I actually am completely in the dark on his current like career stuff. I didn't do any research. I think we did research around here. Crying in the back, doing research. I believe that this movie is so good that it would be crazy for producers and companies not to be like seeking him out for like the next idea.
Oh yeah, bro.
I would want the next piece of Boots Riley's brain.
For sure. Yeah.
So I would hope that he's doing some sort of long-term incubation of like writing, networking, right? Like building the next thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been 7 years.
We should get a Sorry to Bother You too.
It's just really shitty. It's just a shitty action movie with horse cocks.
Yeah, dude, pull a Platform 2 on us.
Holy crap, that would break my heart.
Yeah, it would, but yeah, nonetheless.
Do you want to rate this movie?
Patrick.
Austin.
This a 10, bro.
I think we might have another 10 on our hands.
Solid 10 for me, man. It checks every one of my boxes. You know, I mean, fantastic acting, great storyline, great plot, great lighting. The technicalities are all amazing. Fucking, it's dystopian, it's sci-fi, it's comedy, it's dark, it's ridiculous.
Everything we love.
I loved it. I was so unprepared for almost every aspect of it.
Yeah. Originally on our docket, we were going to watch White Men Can't Jump tonight.
Very different movie.
Very different movie. I just started thinking about it, man. And I was looking at some of our next year's movies. And I was like, nope, this one can't wait.
Yeah, dude.
It's like, we're bumping it.
Too pertinent, too fucking, this is too good.
Sorry, Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes.
You'll be coming.
Woody Harrelson. We'll get to you guys later.
Definitely.
It's a fun movie, but this is a different level.
Bro. It was so good.
Yeah,
this movie is a solid 10 for me.
It's everything that I like and like to think about. It's the economics, the social justice, the scathing satire, the humor, the
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
I feel like from a different world, but I feel like a kindred spirit with Boots Riley.
Mhm.
He represents things that I want to represent.
Yeah. Just things that I so deeply believe.
I've grown up listening to his music, and it's just like so cool to me to be able to watch this guy's like movie come to life, and like it feels like a success story.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And
yeah, no, I am nothing but happy that this piece of media is out in the world. Yeah. It was a pleasure to watch.
Okay, I want to end with one cool quote that's actually from the very beginning of the movie. Cassius Green he's not freaking out. He's actually very calm, but he's having what you would call an existential crisis moment. He's talking to his girlfriend about the meaning of life, right?
Yeah.
They're laying in bed. And he's like, what happens when we die? Like, not like afterlife stuff, but like once our kids die and then their kids die and then everyone on Earth dies and the sun explodes. Does this mean anything?
Yeah.
And his girlfriend says, it will always matter because it matters now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that's such a beautiful way of easing your mind away from that type of stuff and allowing yourself to just live a meaningful life now, because that's what you got.
Yeah. There's really no point to worry about
all that other shit. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you won't be here. That you won't be thinking about it. So why think about it now?
And there's a really nice poetry in the idea that like, because it matters now, it matters forever. Like it transcends time, that we are like infinite and beautiful, and like just go inward, do your art, right? Like love your family and friends and just like experience life. Because I do think like a big part of the pain that capitalism causes in working class people is this like loss of meaning. Yeah. And this idea that like through struggle, maybe I can like come up. But Boots is saying like, don't think like that. Yeah. You don't need to come up. You need to stay where you are and find your value inside, in your art, in your relationships, right? In your religion, like be now.
And still, and also work for like a greater future for all.
Yeah.
You know, that's really also.
Put your effort where it counts.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Fucking right on the money.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening to all of this.
Yeah. It was a good convo. Good topics. I love it.
Give us a like. Give us a subscribe so we can come up.
Yeah, we want to come up.
We want to get rich and forget about everybody.
Oh, shit. All right. Fuck yeah, man.
Thank you, Boots Riley. And this has been Quiet in the Back.
Working class are all so dull. We got them stuck right under our thumb. corporate overlords who take what's ours. We are the labor movement, the unionized workforce. We have all leverage. We need to take this nation by force. It's alright, hey!